Enhance your English.
Hey, 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 English learners! Welcome back to Enhance Your English, the podcast where we help you grow your English every single day through real conversations, real feelings, and real life topics. I am Emma.
And I am James. And today I have a question. A simple question, but also a little bit scary.
Scary? James, we literally just started.
I know. But just listen. If someone came up to you right now, a nice person, friendly face, and they said, "Hey, tell me one thing that makes you different from everyone else." What would you say?
Oh, okay. My mind just went completely blank. Like nothing. Zero.
Right? Exactly. That is what happens to most of us. We know our name, we know our job, we know our favorite food, but what makes us truly unique? That one is much harder.
Yeah, it really is.
And that is today's big question. What makes you unique?
And we are going to explore it together, honestly, gently, with a lot of real conversation, just like this.
Exactly. Now, before we jump in, we want to tell you something important. Something about how to use this episode to actually improve your English.
Yes, okay, so the best way to learn English is not memorizing grammar rules alone in a quiet room. It is listening, really listening to natural conversation, to real sentences, to the way two people actually talk.
Mm-hmm. And when you listen to us today, you're not just hearing words. You're hearing English the way it actually lives. The pauses, the small laughs, the way we correct ourselves sometimes, the way we explain a new word simply and then just keep going.
And your brain, okay, this is the beautiful part. Your brain is doing so much more than you think. Even if you do not catch every single word, your brain is absorbing the rhythm of English, the music of it, the natural flow.
So, here's how we want you to use today's episode. Step 1, just listen. Don't stress. Don't pause every 5 seconds. Just let the conversation flow over you. Feel the English. Enjoy it.
Step 2, listen again. This time, pay attention to the words you missed the first time. Notice the phrases. Notice how ideas connect to each other naturally.
Step 3, practice. You can repeat sentences after us, or you can shadow. That means you try to speak at the same time as us, copying our rhythm and our pronunciation. It feels weird at first, but it works.
And step 4, use it. After this episode, take one word or phrase from today and use it in a message, in your journal, out loud to yourself, anywhere.
Because that is how English goes from something you study to something you actually speak.
Oh, I love that. Write that down, everyone.
And at the end, we have our word tour. 10 words and phrases from today's conversation. Clear meanings, simple examples. So you can review everything nice and slowly.
You can listen to the full episode first and then do the word tour at the end. Or if you are someone who likes to know the vocabulary before, skip to the end, do the word tour, and then come back. There is no wrong way.
The only rule is enjoy it. Because when you enjoy it, you remember it. And when you remember it, you use it.
Okay, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's jump in.
Okay, Emma. So, I want to start with something personal, and I want you to be honest with me.
Okay. I'm already nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. So, imagine a stranger, a nice stranger, friendly face, walks up to you and says, "Tell me one thing that makes you different from everyone else." What do you say?
Okay, honestly, my first reaction is silence. My mind just goes blank, completely empty, nothing coming out.
Blank. Yeah, like completely empty. No thoughts, nothing.
Yes, and I would probably smile a little awkwardly and say something like, "Oh, well, I don't know. I think I'm pretty normal."
Yes, I'm pretty normal. That is such a common answer. So many people say exactly that. I'm ordinary. There's nothing especially special about me.
Ordinary, normal, average, nothing that really stands out.
And here's the interesting thing. The people who say, I'm ordinary, they are often the most interesting people in the room. They just never learn to see themselves clearly.
Oh, that is so true because we're always inside our own head, right? We think everyone can do what I do. Everyone notices the things I notice. Everyone thinks the way I think.
But they don't. That's the whole point. Nobody sees the world exactly through your eyes.
Okay, let me give you an example. I have this friend, her name is Sophia, and Sophia always remembers how people take their coffee. She meets someone once, one time, and 3 months later, she'll bring them a coffee exactly right. 2 sugars, little milk, slightly strong.
Oh, that is so lovely.
Right? And when I told her, Sophia, that is amazing. That is such a beautiful quality. She looked at me like I was crazy. She said, Emma, that is just being polite. That's nothing.
She brushed it off.
Completely brushed it off, brushed off. She dismissed it, said, that's not important, and moved on.
But it is important. That kind of care, that kind of attention to people, not everyone has that. Not everyone even thinks about it.
Exactly. And I think that's true for you too, listening right now. There's something you do naturally, without thinking, without any effort, that the people around you notice and appreciate. Even if you've never called it special, even if you've never called it a talent.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you're the person who always knows when someone in the room is feeling left out, and you just go and talk to them without anyone asking you to.
Or maybe you're the person who can make anyone laugh, even on a really hard day. Not with big jokes, just with one small, perfectly timed, perfectly true little sentence.
Yes, that person. I love that person.
Or maybe you're the person who walks into any space and makes it feel like home. You rearrange 2 things, light a candle, put on some soft music, and suddenly everyone in the room relaxes.
Those are gifts, real gifts, even without a certificate, even without a prize.
And here's a word I want to bring in now: signature.
Oh, yes, signature, like the way you write your name, right? Your signature is yours only. Nobody in the world signs their name exactly like you do.
And in the same way, your personality, your energy, the feeling you give to people around you, that is your signature on the world.
And it's not something you choose consciously. You don't sit down one day and say, okay, I will make my signature being the person who remembers everyone's coffee order.
Right. It's not like that. It just is you. It comes naturally. It's just how you move through the world.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us go our whole lives without recognizing our own signature because it feels too normal, too obvious, too simple.
But simple doesn't mean unimportant.
Nope.
And obvious to you doesn't mean obvious to everyone.
I had a moment like this a few years ago. I was talking to an old colleague, and she said, James, do you know what I always remembered about working with you? You always made people feel like their idea was worth something. Even if the idea was not very good, you would find the one good part and focus on that. You made people feel heard.
Oh, that is a beautiful quality.
And my reaction, just like Sophia with the coffee, was to say, oh, that's just being nice. That's nothing.
There it is again. That's nothing.
And she looked at me and said, James, do you have any idea how rare that is? And I genuinely didn't know. I had absolutely no idea.
Because when something comes naturally to you, it feels like it must come naturally to everyone.
Exactly. But it doesn't.
So, here's a little question for you listening right now. Has someone ever said something nice about you, a small compliment, a small comment, and you just brushed it off? Said thank you and immediately forgot about it?
Mm-hmm.
Try to remember that moment. What did they say? Because that little thing they noticed, that might be your signature. That might be your window into what makes you genuinely, specifically you.
Beautifully said. Okay, let's go deeper. Let's talk about your story.
James, can I ask you something personal?
Of course, everything is personal today, Emma.
Fair enough. So, when you think about the experiences that shaped who you are today, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Honest answer?
Always.
Okay. The first thing that comes to mind is actually something I used to be very embarrassed about.
Oh, tell us.
I was painfully, terribly shy as a teenager. Like, painfully.
Really? You? The man who literally talks on a podcast for a living?
I know, it sounds impossible. But truly, I could not raise my hand in class. Even when I knew the answer, even when I was 100% sure I was right, my hand would not go up. My heart would go too fast, my throat would go dry, and I would just sit there.
That sounds really uncomfortable.
It was, and outside of school, ordering food in a restaurant was a whole event for me. I would read the menu like 20 minutes before the waiter came, and then I would practice my order in my head, quietly, to myself, at least 5, 6 times before I said it out loud.
Practicing your food order. I would like the pasta, please. I would like the pasta, please.
Exactly like that, exactly. And even then, even after all that practice, sometimes when the waiter finally came, I would just panic and point at the menu.
Oh, James.
It was a lot, and at the time I honestly thought something was wrong with me. Everyone else looks so comfortable. Why am I so terrified?
And now, here you are, talking easily, talking warmly, talking to thousands of people every single week.
Yeah, and the journey from there to here, from the boy who pointed at the menu to the man on the podcast, that journey is a huge part of what makes me me. The specific way I understand nervousness, the specific patience I have with quiet people, the very specific reason I got interested in communication and language in the first place.
Your struggle became your purpose.
Exactly that.
Okay, let me share mine. I grew up moving around a lot. My family changed cities, sometimes countries, every few years. New school, new language sometimes, new friends, new everything.
That sounds exhausting for a child.
It was. And every time I finally made a real friend, a good friend, the kind where you can sit in silence and it feels okay, we would move. And I would have to start all over again.
Oh, always being the new person.
Always. Always being on the outside at first. Always introducing yourself. Always learning the new rules of a new place. I remember sitting in so many school cafeterias alone, just watching other people who already knew each other, thinking, how do they do that? How does it look so easy for them? And now, I can walk into a room full of complete strangers and feel genuinely okay. Not just okay on the surface, actually okay inside, because I have done it so many times. Starting over does not scare me anymore. It is actually something I'm quietly, privately good at.
That is a superpower, truly.
And I never would have had it without all those uncomfortable new beginnings. The struggle and the skill, they came from the same place.
Shape. When something shapes you, it slowly forms who you become, like water shaping a stone, slowly, quietly, but permanently.
And your story is not just the big dramatic moments. It's also the small, quiet, everyday things.
The specific smell of your grandmother's house,
the song that always played in the family car on long trips, the view from your childhood bedroom window.
The way your mother said goodnight, the feeling of a particular summer, the friend you had at age 7 who you still think about sometimes, even now.
All of that is in you. All of that shaped you, and none of it happened to anyone else in exactly the same way.
Sometimes people say, my life is boring. Nothing special happened to me. My story is not interesting. And I always want to say,
You're looking for the wrong kind of interesting.
exactly. Interesting is not always dramatic. Sometimes interesting is just yours. The specific combination of everything you have seen, felt, lost, learned, loved. That combination has never existed before, and it will never exist again.
That's remarkable.
Remarkable, genuinely impressive, worth noticing, something that stands out as truly special,
Your story is remarkable, even if it doesn't feel like it from the inside.
especially if it doesn't feel like it from the inside.
Okay, lighter topic now. Let's talk about quirks.
Oh, yes, I love this one.
Quirks, those small, slightly unusual, very personal habits. The little things that make your family laugh. The things your friends know about you and secretly love.
Okay, I want to start with a confession.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So, when I am cooking alone, which I do quite often, I give my food a live commentary, like a sports presenter.
I'm sorry. Like a what?
A sports presenter. So, for example, the onions go into the pan, and I say out loud in my kitchen to nobody, and the onions are in, looking golden, looking beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. This is going very well.
Emma,
I know.
you are doing live sports commentary for your onions.
Every single time. And if the garlic goes in at exactly the right moment, James, the drama in my voice, the drama.
Oh, I love this. This is incredible. And does it help?
I genuinely believe my food tastes better because of the positive energy. I cannot prove it scientifically, but I believe it.
Okay, I believe you. All right, my turn. I cannot begin any task until my physical space is perfectly organized.
What does perfectly mean for you?
Desk completely clear, water glass full and in the top right corner, pen parallel to the edge of the table.
Parallel.
Genuinely parallel. I check it.
James.
I know it is a lot. Notebook open to a fresh page, phone face down, and then, only then, I can begin.
Okay, and we said this before, your quirks and your strengths are usually connected, right? James's need for order, that same energy makes him incredibly organized and reliable and focused when he works.
Mm-hmm. And Emma's cooking commentary, that comes from the same place as her warmth, her love of making ordinary moments feel like a celebration.
Ordinary moments, the everyday, simple, not exciting parts of life, and finding something wonderful in them anyway.
So your quirk is not separate from who you are. It is part of the same fabric.
Fabric. Imagine your personality is a piece of cloth. Every thread is part of you. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your quirks, your story. All threads in the same fabric. You cannot pull one out without changing the whole thing.
And maybe you are listening right now and thinking about your own quirks, the things you do that make people smile or sometimes make people gently shake their head.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you always try the first bite of any new food with your eyes closed.
Maybe you cannot throw away birthday cards ever. You have boxes of them going back 15 years.
Maybe you talk to your plants, full sentences. You ask them how they're doing, you encourage them when a new leaf is growing.
Maybe you have a very specific ritual before watching a new TV show, arranging your snacks just right, finding the perfect position on the sofa, making sure the lighting is exactly correct.
Those are not flaws. Those are not things to fix. Those are your fingerprint.
Fingerprint, completely unique to you. Nobody in the world has the same fingerprint as you. And in the same way, nobody moves through the world with exactly your collection of habits, rituals, and little personal traditions.
And hidden talents. Okay, this is where I think a lot of people really undersell themselves.
Oh, yes, undersell. When you describe something as less valuable than it really is, you make it sound smaller than it actually is.
And we do this with our talents constantly. Someone says, "Oh, I'm good at making people laugh," but that's not a talent. That's just being silly. Hmm.
Or, I'm good at listening, but anyone can listen. That's nothing special.
But think about it. The person who can truly make anyone laugh, that's connection. That's emotional intelligence. That's reading a room and knowing exactly what it needs in that moment. That's genuinely rare.
And the person who truly listens, not just waits for their turn to talk, but actually listens, remembers, reflects back, that person is a gift to everyone around them.
These are real talents. They don't need a stage, they don't need an audience, they don't need a certificate on the wall.
So, what's your hidden talent? The thing you do without thinking, the thing other people mention but you always dismiss.
That's worth thinking about, really.
Okay, we need to talk about something that gets in the way of all of this.
I think I know what you were going to say.
Comparison.
Yes, comparison.
Because here's what happens. We start to feel good about ourselves. We start to see our own uniqueness. And then we pick up our phone, or we walk into a room, or we talk to someone, and we start comparing.
And suddenly our signature feels ordinary again. Our story feels small again. Our quirks feel like problems again.
I used to do this so much. I would see someone so confident in a meeting, holding the room, making everyone laugh, speaking so clearly, and I would think, I will never be like that. Why am I not like that?
And you completely forgot all the qualities that make you specifically valuable.
Completely. Because comparison does not compare fairly. It does not say, let's look at all of this person's qualities and all of yours and see the full picture. It says, look at their best thing, now look at your worst thing. See the difference?
That is not fair. That is not even a real comparison. That is just making yourself feel bad.
And social media makes this so much harder. Because on social media, you see everyone's highlights, their best moments, their most beautiful photos, their most exciting days.
And you're sitting at home on a Tuesday in your old comfortable clothes eating leftovers, and suddenly everyone else's life looks like a movie, and yours looks like a very quiet Tuesday.
But your Tuesday, your specific, quiet, comfortable, leftover eating Tuesday is real. And theirs is one carefully chosen moment.
You are comparing your whole real life to someone else's best selected moments, and that will never feel fair because it is not.
There's a phrase I love for this: compare and despair.
Ooh, compare and despair, yeah.
When you compare yourself to others, you will almost always find a reason to feel bad, because there will always be someone who appears to be doing something better than you in some area. Appearing, seeming from the outside, not necessarily the truth.
And I want to say something gentle here. Noticing other people's strengths is not bad. Being inspired by others is beautiful.
Wanting to grow? Fantastic. Keep that energy.
Mm-hmm.
But when admiring someone turns into, and therefore I am not enough, that's where it becomes a problem.
Because you are enough, and you are also always growing. Both things are true at the same time.
Both things are true at the same time. You do not have to choose between I am enough as I am and I want to keep improving. You can hold both.
Mm-hmm. And nobody is walking the exact path you are walking. Nobody has your specific combination of history, personality, experiences, skills, quirks, relationships, and quiet, ordinary Tuesdays.
That combination is the rarest thing in the world because it has never existed before you and it will never exist again after you.
So when comparison creeps in, and it will, we are all human, try to notice it. Name it. Oh, hello, comparison. I see you. You are not very helpful right now.
I love that. Just greet it and let it go.
And come back to yourself, back to your story, back to your signature, back to what makes you specifically, irreplaceably you.
Irreplaceable, impossible to replace. There is no copy, there is no substitute.
You are irreplaceable. Let that sit for a moment.
Yeah, let that actually sit. James, I want to talk about something that I find really moving.
Okay, tell me.
The people who see us, really see us, even when we cannot see ourselves.
Oh, yes, this one is important.
Because sometimes our own view of ourselves is the most limited view. We're too close to it. We see our mistakes clearly, our awkward moments in high definition, our insecurities in large print. But our gifts, those we can barely see at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone comes along and they say something, just one sentence, and it changes things.
Tell me about yours. You mentioned a teacher earlier, Mrs. Henderson? Yes, I was 16. English class. I had written an essay. I don't even remember what it was about. And at the end of class, Mrs. Henderson held up my paper and said, "James, this is genuinely interesting. The way you think about things, it is genuinely interesting. I hope you keep writing."
Oh.
And I went completely red. I probably looked at my shoes. I said thank you very quietly, and then I went home and read that sentence over and over in my head for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, Emma, because nobody had ever said anything like that to me before. And slowly, very slowly, I started to believe it might be true. And that small, fragile, slowly growing belief, it changed my subject choices, my career, the way I spoke about myself, all from one sentence.
One person, one sentence, one moment.
And here's the thing, Mrs. Henderson probably doesn't even remember saying it. It was just a Tuesday for her, just a regular comment at the end of a regular class.
But for you, it was one of the most important moments of your life.
Yes, and that's how powerful it is to truly see someone, to notice something real in them and say it out loud.
I had a moment like this too, about 2 years ago. I was going through a really hard time, personally, professionally, everything at once. And I was talking to an old friend, and I was listing all the ways things had gone wrong, all my failures. And I was honestly quite convincing about it.
You made a very strong case against yourself.
A very strong case. And she just listened. She did not interrupt. And then when I finished, she said, "Emma, you have gone through harder things than this before. And every single time, you did not just survive. You came out with something. A new skill, a new understanding, a new door that opened because the old one closed. You always come out with something." And then she said, I have watched you do this for 15 years. Trust yourself.
Oh, that is a real friend.
She is, and I cried. Not sad crying, grateful crying, the kind where you think, thank you for seeing me clearly when I cannot see myself at all.
And that's what the people who love us do. They hold the mirror steady when our hands are shaking too much to hold it ourselves.
Hold the mirror to show us clearly who we really are, to reflect our true self back to us when we have lost sight of it.
So, who in your life sees you clearly? Who is the person who knows your best self even when you forget it?
Think about that.
And when was the last time they told you? Or when was the last time you told them?
Because seeing someone and saying nothing, that's a missed opportunity. One of the most generous things you can do for another person is to name what you see in them. Say it out loud.
You might be someone's Mrs. Henderson, and you might not even know it.
Yeah.
So, Emma, we have covered a lot today. The mirror moment, our stories, quirks and hidden talents, comparison, the people who see us. What does it all add up to?
I think it adds up to this. Uniqueness is not a destination. It is not something you arrive at one day. It is not something you find in an online quiz.
Right. It is not a quiz result.
It is just you already, right now. It is in the way you walk into a room, the way you hold your cup of tea, the way your face moves when you hear a song you love.
It is in your quiet Tuesday evenings and your random thoughts at 2 in the morning. It is in the things that make you cry at movies and the things that make you laugh when you are completely alone.
And we live in a world that is constantly telling us to be more productive, more successful, more exciting, always more.
And sometimes what we actually need to hear is less. Less comparison, less performing, less pretending.
And more of what is already true, more of what is already there.
Unapologetically.
Unapologetically, without apology, without hiding, without making yourself smaller.
Be yourself, unapologetically. Not because you're perfect, not because you have everything figured out, but because you, this specific, complicated, still growing, beautifully imperfect you, is what the world actually needs.
The world already has everyone else. There's only one of you.
And that's not a small thing.
That is everything.
So, here's our gentle challenge for this week. Just one thing. Find a quiet moment, morning, evening, a few minutes before sleep, and ask yourself this question.
What is one thing about me that I have never given myself proper credit for? Not your biggest achievement, not your most impressive skill, just one real, true, honest thing.
And if the answer doesn't come straight away, that's okay. Sit with the question. Let it live in your mind for a few days. It will find its way to an answer.
Because the answer is already there. It has always been there.
You just needed someone to ask. And we're glad we could be the ones to ask today.
Okay, word tour time.
Let's go.
Just listen, or repeat after us if you like. No pressure, no rush.
First word, ordinary.
Ordinary means normal, average, nothing that really stands out or feels different from everything else.
In today's episode, I said, for a long time, I thought I was very ordinary. Normal family, normal school, nothing dramatic.
Another example. The street looked completely ordinary, but the little cafe at the end of it was extraordinary.
You can repeat, ordinary.
Next, brush off.
When you brush something off, you dismiss it. You treat it as unimportant and just move on without giving it attention.
In today's episode, Sophia brushed off the compliment. She said, "That is just being polite. That is nothing."
Another example, he always brushes off praise. Someone tells him he is talented and he immediately changes the subject.
Repeat, brush off.
Now, signature.
Your signature is your unique, personal mark, the thing that is completely, unmistakably yours. Nobody else does it exactly the same way.
In today's episode, your personality, your energy, the feeling you give to people, that is your signature on the world.
Another example. She has a signature laugh. You can hear it across a whole room and you always know it is her.
Repeat, signature.
Next, shape, as a verb.
When something shapes you, it slowly influences and forms who you become. It leaves a permanent mark on your character.
In today's episode, moving cities every few years shaped me. It made starting over feel normal instead of terrifying.
Another example, those difficult years shaped her into one of the most patient people I know.
Repeat, shape.
Now, remarkable.
Remarkable means genuinely impressive, worth noticing, something that stands out as truly special.
In today's episode, your story is remarkable, even if it does not feel like it from the inside.
Another example, she has a remarkable ability to stay calm in situations that make everyone else panic.
Repeat, remarkable.
Next, undersell.
When you undersell something, you describe it as less valuable or impressive than it really is. You make it sound smaller than it actually is.
In today's episode, we undersell our talents constantly. I am good at listening, but anyone can listen. That is nothing special.
Another example, he completely undersold himself in the interview. He has incredible experience, but talked about it like it was nothing.
Repeat, undersell.
Now, a phrase, compare and despair.
When you compare yourself to others, you will almost always find a reason to feel bad, because there will always be someone who appears to be doing something better than you in some area.
Compare and despair. You're comparing your whole real life to someone else's best selected moments.
Another example, she stopped looking at certain accounts online because it always led to compare and despair.
Repeat, compare and despair.
Next, irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable means impossible to replace. There is no copy. There is no substitute. Nothing else can fill that exact space.
In today's episode, you are irreplaceable. There is only one of you in the world, and that is not a small thing.
Another example, a truly great teacher is irreplaceable. They change the direction of your life forever.
Repeat, irreplaceable. Now, hold the mirror.
When someone holds the mirror for you, they show you clearly who you really are. They reflect your true self back to you when you cannot see yourself clearly.
In today's episode, the people who love us hold the mirror steady when our hands are shaking too much to hold it ourselves.
Another example, a good friend holds the mirror for you, honestly, kindly, and at exactly the right moment.
Repeat, hold the mirror. And our last word, unapologetically.
Unapologetically means without saying sorry for who you are, without hiding, without making yourself smaller, fully and openly yourself.
In today's episode, be yourself unapologetically, not because you're perfect, but because the real you is what the world needs.
Another example, she lives unapologetically. She makes choices that feel right for her and doesn't spend energy defending them to everyone.
Repeat, unapologetically.
Unapologetically.
And those were our 10 words from today. You do not need to memorize all of them right now. Just pick one, the one that felt most alive to you, and try to use it this week.
in a message, in your journal, out loud to yourself, anywhere. Use it once and it starts to become yours.
And remember, you can listen to this episode again, and we really encourage that. The first time, you feel the story. The second time, you catch the details. The third time, you start to feel the English in your body, natural, familiar, comfortable.
That is how language really enters you. Not through pressure, through repetition that actually feels good.
And our question from today, what is one thing about you that you have never given yourself proper credit for? Write it in the comments. We read every single one.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to enhance your English, tap like, and share this with one person in your life who is learning English or who just needs to hear today's message.
Because sometimes the most helpful thing you can do for someone you love is hand them something that says, hey, you are enough, exactly as you are.
Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, keep listening.
And keep being unapologetically, completely, wonderfully you.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.